first of all, let's see, we're gonna open the meeting at 6:03 p.m. The first piece of the meeting was 2 sets of minutes. I know I sent 1 set of minutes out last time, and I don't think Chris finished the last set and didn't send them to me yet. So I figured we will do those next meeting. They're usually a pretty quick item, and I don't wanna take any time tonight. I wanna keep rolling, right, David? David looks exhausted. He looks how I feel. So that was the first item. So is everyone okay with holding off on the minutes till next week?
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
KP?
Aye.
Excellent. All right, so the next thing we have is open session, or a time for the public. Would you like
I'm
to
just
speak
listening.
today? Okay, so we have no one who'd like to speak from the public, and Cody is not here to opine. So he's not home by himself, by the way, just in case you're wondering.
I have every confidence in your parenting.
You do, David.
I do.
Well, that's good. Sometimes I question it myself, but
It's me you should worry about.
that's true. All right, so public session. One of the other agenda items we have here is just any updates on ARPA. David, I know you and I talked briefly earlier on the phone, but can you just give everyone else a rundown? Because I know last time we had chatted at one of our meetings, we were still waiting to hear on what the state was going to do with the additional ARPA money, and I know you and I talked about where things were with that.
Right. So I did talk to the MMA, and they were able to give me an outline of the Chapter 102 of the Acts of 2021, which was signed into law on December 13th, 2020. 21. It has about $3 billion worth of money for cities and towns. It's going to be doled out in 3 units, one of which is for infrastructure for water and sewer, which doesn't apply to us. The next one would be for electric vehicles, which we may be able to take part in. But the other is infrastructure for broadband. And we haven't seen any plan from the state on that one. They haven't released how much money, how's it going to go, and where is it going to go,
And what's it supposed to actually mean?
and what it's supposed to be.
And what's this money, where's this money coming from? I'm sorry, did you say that?
There are 2 pots of money that are being given out to cities and towns.
Non-ARPA money.
It's not, well, it is ARPA money in an indirect way. The state got ARPA money, and they're using about half of that.
The 1.4 million we already got.
No, that's not theirs. Ours is 1.4 million.
And the state also got ARPA money.
They also got ARPA
And
money.
they're giving it to towns.
They're giving us a slice of it.
Okay.
That's $2 billion worth of ARPA money from the state to the cities and towns.
Of which is what, 362 of them?
351. And how many districts and regional agencies, I don't know.
Don't worry, Dana will get its share.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Alice.
Then there's another $1 billion of surplus tax revenue that the state brought in that they weren't counting on. So it being an election year, this is a good thing to do, is spread the money around. So that's what I know at this point.
So I have a question, because there is another ARPA bucket, and I've been having trouble finding information on it. There was another federal ARPA bucket that was specifically for like trail and resource and economic development projects. And the first round of grants for that were done directly through the federal government. But there were some, we'll just call them intermediary organizations, that went out and got grant money for that are now giving away smaller grants based upon that money.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you'd seen any information on that, because I know there is a somewhat local example. Charlemont got a bunch of money for trail work that was done through that federal ARPA grant program.
I remember reading about that.
And I know the first round that was given out directly from the government for trails, I believe that closed, because I went to that website to try to print out information in the application to bring it back to the committee and bring it to planning and open space and really anyone else who would listen. But I don't know if there are any other kind of intermediary organizations that took some of that money that are looking to distribute in the area. I haven't been able to chase that down, and I haven't been able to chase down if there's going to be a second round yet. So just wanted to throw that out to make sure it got into the conversation.
I'll cast the net out and see what I can learn. I'm thinking it's probably with the regional planning agency, but I could be wrong. I'll look it up.
Okay. Alright, any other questions for David on that? Okay, so I'm not sure what the specific next item was, but the intent was to have a conversation about where we go from here. So the rounds closed yesterday, we had, David, 22 applications?
21.
What did I just say?
You said 22.
You said
Oh,
22.
okay, that's good. At least the number came out close to what I thought I said. So we had 21 applications that totaled what, 1.8 million?
Something 1.9, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
1.98 million.
so I'm getting numbers like somewhat close today. I just shouldn't be like quoted on actual
Don't worry about
figures because I'm not accurate today at all, apparently.
Horseshoes
Alright.
and hand grenades.
So we have all the applications. My goal for tonight is just to get a plan, both to set up a meeting for next week and give everyone time to take home the hard copies. I know I'm a paper nerd. Other people may not need the paper as much. I know.
Tree killer.
I know. I am a tree killer. We'll just have to. Good thing I plant trees, right?
That'll go.
Gonna need evidence to that effect.
Oh, go away. So, anyway, so we have the hard copies there. In our RFP itself, we have the scoring sheet. So what I wanted to do tonight was just get a handle and get us all on the same page of what we want to do from here. I was talking to David earlier, I had a couple ideas. One of them that I thought was a good idea, but probably would be very cumbersome, paper heavy, would be everyone takes home a scoring sheet, one for each one of those 21, fills it out, and then we tally it up total. But that requires someone to input all that info in. The second idea I had, which is that I simply create one Google sheet that has all the different categories and list all the projects, make 5 copies, have everyone have access, share access with me to one of those, so it's just me and that other person who sees them. So it's not a quorum, we can't say it's deliberation. And then I take all those, input them into a master sheet, just
Yep.
combine all the sheets together, and then we have a total score for everything for next week. So before we come into the meeting, we already know where everyone stands on something, what the total score piece is for that, and we can say, okay, project 1, which is to build a new table, is $250,000, and as the ARPA committee, when we add all of our scores cumulatively, we scored it at a 79.
Mm-hmm.
And then discuss it, ask any questions and so forth, and hopefully from that meeting, be able to develop, what the strongest projects are, ask any questions we have that we need some follow-up on if there are any, and then be able to give potentially an initial list to the select board. And hopefully Dave and I talked about maybe seeing if the select board could do a special meeting on the 14th just to go over these projects and to approve. Keeping in mind that right now we only have in the coffers 750 off some funds of the total 1.4 million. So we could theoretically approve more projects, but we just wanna be careful. I know we can start the process on certain things even if we don't have the money in the bank.
Right.
Dave and I chatted, we're both, I think, on the page where we'd prefer to have the money in the bank before we commit to spending just in case something happens.
So we don't wanna say anything along the lines of you're pre-approved pending the availability of funds to do something and then set an expectation and.
I would suggest that if it was a town organization, we could say that kind of thing, but if it was not a town organization, we should definitely not say that.
I agree.
So I think, I haven't looked at, as I had mentioned in the email and chatting with David, I haven't looked at any of the applications yet because I wanted to make sure we had a process set and my mind wasn't changing its direction before we got rolling. But
Hi everybody,
Hi.
sorry I'm late, come bearing gifts at least.
you do, is it a $1.4 million check?
No, that's from the weed
It's a
store.
little heavy, so I'm thinking no.
That's from the weed store.
Well, Susan, we're so glad you joined us. We're almost done.
Good.
So we were just talking about the process of how we're going to review these applications. So the suggestion I had thrown out was we have all the hard copy applications, so everyone can take a packet with them. Some KP likes to do things digitally. I like to kill trees. We all have our different preferences. And then we talked about using and using the scoring sheet that we had come up with for the RFP, that I would just convert that to a Google sheet, send out an individual Google sheet to each person or share it, so I'm the only other person who has access to it. So it's not deliberation, cause no more than 2 people are looking at any sheet. And then I take them all and put them cumulatively into one sheet and send it out in time for the meeting, and then you know what the total score is for each project.
That works for me.
And then we use that as our guideline of discussion next week, and then we can go through the projects in the order that they're listed and
Yep.
what the score is, see if we need to make any changes, have any concerns, and then once we're through that, we can prioritize and put them in order of the shopping list, essentially for the select board, potentially with a special meeting on the 14th.
Okay.
Is everyone okay with that plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, when are you gonna send it out?
Well, probably tomorrow, KP.
Yeah, that girl.
Probably tomorrow. Luckily I have access to my niece who's in from, taking a day off from college, so I can put her to work with type here. It'll be good. Free labor, David, no
Yeah.
cost.
Good,
No administrative costs either. So, if we're all good on that process, my only other comment on the ARPA piece, Dave and I had a conversation probably about a month, since this last meeting, I think, but before,
What was
after the last
conversation?
one. We do need to put, I think it's was it $750 or $2,500 aside for administrative costs?
ARPA meeting, but they're just wrapping up.
Well, you don't have to,
We're all good?
yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Disregard that. So, everyone's good with the plan? Anything else to discuss? Any new business?
I have new business.
Yes,
I have
KP.
a question.
David can go first.
David?
I sent everything out electronically. Did everybody receive it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That was a good question. KP?
ARPA applications? With 3
Yes.
attachments?
There's like 21 attachments, but yeah, that looks like the documents.
Looks like I got it.
Did you have new business, KP?
Yes. So there's an application in there from Hubbardston Lions Club. I am a member in good standing, the Hubbardston Lions Club. So I should be recusing myself from opining on that, correct?
That would be squeaky clean.
Okay.
Do you see a bright red line from the money to your membership in the Lions Club?
My personal membership?
Yeah,
No.
alright,
You're just a personal member, not a member of the leadership of the Lions Club.
Correct.
alright. So as an alternate thing that you may wanna do is you may want to go online to the State Ethics Commission, go to the forms for disclosure of appearance of conflict of interest, fill that out and file it with the town clerk. And so long as the information is correct and accurate, that it would allow you to participate in a discussion or decision about Lion Club's money. But it would be cleaner if you were not part of that conversation.
Okay. I will recuse myself from that part of the
Okay.
conversation.
Because he doesn't wanna fill out the form.
I will add that
Paperwork
application.
or
Form has
take a
its
break from
desired
it.
effect.
Yes.
I'll make sure that application is the last one on the thing, so when we get to discuss it next week, you can always step out if you
So-
like.
Looking,
I can leave early?
You could leave early, theoretically, yes.
Half
No,
day?
you're gonna wait.
Half day.
so looking at the list, I realize I may fall into something. Number 13 is the Keep Hubbardston Beautiful Committee, looking for $1,250, and my wife is the one who put in the application. Her and my last name are spelled wrong, but she put in the application. So should I recuse myself from number 13?
Yes, so if
Yes.
anyone has anything else, just pop me an email, I will move the item toward the end, and when we get to that item, we can vacate the premises. And we'll be good. Alright, anything else? Any other new business?
Put mine at the end so I can.
Maybe, KP, I'll put Mike's before yours, how's that?
Nice.
I think
Sorry,
we were
sorry.
talking calendars.
Oh, yes. So Dave and I were talking about calendars next week. How is everyone available? Would you be available on Wednesday? KP, I know Wednesdays are not your best day.
Oh, Wednesday. What's the date next week?
That would be the
Ninth.
9th.
No, that's a bad day for Wednesday doesn't work for me.
Okay. What is everyone's availability next week?
I can do Tuesday or Thursday.
I can do Tuesday or Thursday.
Susan, Chris, Tuesday?
Tuesday's good.
Christopher?
What time on Tuesday?
Mike, you said 6 o'clock works for you to be,
Yeah, I mean, I could do 5:30 if that's easier for you guys. I could do it a little later. It all depends on your.
Susan's saying
I'm
6.
only commuting from Pitcherville Road,
6
so.
was hard enough.
Do we wanna do we wanna try 6:30?
I should be able to make it work.
Okay. David, is that
I'm
work?
flexible. Anytime you wanna do it on Tuesday or Thursday, I can do it.
Okay, 6:30 on Tuesday,
6:30 on Tuesday.
does that work? And will we have access to this room?
Yep.
Okay, so,
Let me double check that and make sure somebody hasn't booked it already.
okay. Well, if,
David, isn't CPC meeting Tuesday? Maybe I'm wrong about that. I
Send me a
should jump
reminder,
in,
will you?
but-
but just let us know, we can always find alternative space if we have to in the other room.
Yep.
So, alright, so we're good, 6:30 on Tuesday, do we wanna post anything on the website or the Facebook page to let people know we'll be doing this, and do we wanna see if it can be videotaped so people can see the process in
Yeah,
action?
I think we need to videotape it, and definitely we need to post it early so that people get the information. I will talk to Dan Galante tomorrow. I'll talk to Dan Galante, tomorrow and find out if he's willing to have a meeting on the 14th.
Oh, for the select board,
Yeah,
alright, but otherwise we should be good for our meeting on
the 8th.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay, and I'll get the agenda to you first thing, or I'll get it to you tomorrow, is it okay if I get it to you tomorrow, can we get it posted?
Yeah, yes, if you sent it to my personal email.
Okay, and then I can let Laurie know as well.
Do we have to be here for the meeting on the 14th?
The 14th, we can talk about that next week when we meet, KP and I
Okay.
are already here for the meeting on the 14th, so
Yeah,
depending
I
on,
can't make it. I
the
already have
consensus.
something in my calendar, but
I think we could probably represent whatever the ARPA committee's, indications are for recommended projects to move forward.
I'm
Between the two of
confident
us.
we can.
Sure.
I think we'll be okay.
okay.
There's 2 of the members on this board that can show up if they want to help us out.
Mm-hmm.
We'll figure it out. Okay, alright, anything else? Alright, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And,
Second.
alright, we're adjourned at 6:21, fastest meeting ever.